All right, next we're going to do a JavaScript tutorial on how to build a role-playing game. It's a simple game where there's some buttons here, and you can kind of role-play with what you do. So you can go buy some health, you can buy a weapon, you can go to town square, you can go to the store, buy a weapon, go to the town square, go to cave, fight fanged beast, attack it, dodge it, run from it, fight dragon. Yeah, you get the idea. So let's make it. All right. To start with, we're going to build the HTML file, which will contain the actual thing being rendered on the screen. So to do that, it's asking us to do a couple things to begin with. So it wants us to build out the doc type, the HTML head, the body. So let's do that now. An easy way to do this, I think, is if you have a Visual Studio Code, which is kind of like Sublime. I highly recommend downloading this or Sublime, but I think this one actually has where you can go in, and if we file new text file and we make it file save as index.html. If we go users, family retro, desktop, if we go test app, let's just do test.html. And if you go here, yeah, it'll give you that whole thing you need right there. So this whole thing, you can copy that. You just do all you have to type in is the exclamation mark, press enter, and it'll give you your entire structure for your HTML document. So plug that in here. So for the title, we have to change it to Dragon Repeller. Include a link tag for the style sheet styles.css. So we need to include a link to, so how do we, you can look anything you want up. So link, how to link styles.css. W3 School is a great resource for this, as I probably said before. We just want to do this right here, this link. Go back into here. Okay. Styles.css. Finally create a div element with the ID set for game within your body. So we're going to create a div ID equals game div. So that should contain everything we need. Let's check it out. Perfect. It worked just fine. So what it was asking there was to include the doc type, which is HTML. So the HTML lang to English. It didn't actually say you need to do that. We did it anyways. Include the head, include the char set, include the viewport, include the title, include the link to the style sheet, and then in your body include the just one div with an ID of game. Next, we're going to add a script. This is how you include JavaScript code directly in your HTML. You can actually write the code on your HTML file within a script tag, or you can link it like you would link the CSS file. So we're going to create a script tag here. Let's copy that. And this goes in, it can go in your head of your document, or it can go at the end of your body. So it's your choice. Tools in your developer console is your developer console. Depending on your browser, this might be opened by pressing F12 or Control-Shift-I on Mac. You can press Option, whatever, C and select console. Add a console log, hello world line between your script tags. So you see in the console here, it shows hello world. Pretty nifty. So next, we're going to remove your console log. Then give your now empty script element a source attribute. Okay, so this is how you actually include a. So instead of writing the JavaScript directly in your HTML, now you're going to be linking it to to another file, which will be like a script.js file. So source equals script.js. Okay. Now this dot dash or dot semi or backslash, you don't have to, It depends on the situation, but I don't think you always have to use that. You can sometimes just put script.js as long as that file, like we've talked before, exists within the same folder as the file you're linking to. I don't know why it's not working. There we go. Add a console. We're working out of the script.js file. So let me see. My camera is kind of messing up here. Okay, we're back. So add the console log hello world to that script.js file. Now we're going to use that let variable that we talked about before. We're going to use let to declare a variable called xp and assign it the value of 0. Let xp equal 0. And we should not have the console log anymore. Initially, a variable called health with the value of 100. So let health equal 100 and let gold equal 50. These are some of the variables that we'll be kind of editing as we move forward. Because they're made with the let keyword, it allows them to be editable or changed throughout the JavaScript code. Next, create another variable called current weapon index and set it to 0. Let current weapon index equals 0. Declare a variable called fighting, but not initialize it with a value. Let fighting. Okay, next declare two more variables called monster health and inventory. Let monster health and let inventory. For inventory variable, assign it the value of an array containing the string stick. Equals stick. So we're going to add more to that, but right now the inventory just includes stick. In your role game, users will be able to track their stats, buy weapons, and fight monsters. Before you can continue with the interactive JavaScript portion of the game, you need to first create the HTML elements that will display the game information. Create 4 div elements within your game element. Give them the following values for stats, controls, monster stats, and text. So div ID equals stats. And we'll just copy 3 more of those and change the IDs. Controls, monster stats, and text. Okay, here we go. We're still going to need to style these HTML elements with CSS, but we'll get there later. So create 3 span elements within your stats element. Give each one of them the class stat. Span class equals stat. Then give the first one the text XP 0. The second one health 100. The last one gold 50. Not bad. Okay. Wrap the numbers 0, 100, and 50 in span elements and wrap those new span elements in strong elements. So we want to do this. So it looks like that. And this will be, and give your new span elements ID values of XP text. XP text 0. And so we have to do that for all 3 of these. This will be health text. And then the last one will be gold text. $50. Okay. So what we did was we added a span within the span that will specify specifically that amount of that text. So the XP text will be 0, the health text will be 100, the gold text will be 50. And then later in our JavaScript code, we'll be able to call these through their ID. So XP text, we'll be able to edit this 0 number to change whenever something like a click of a button or something happens within the code. Next, for your element, create 3 buttons, 3 button elements. The first should have the ID set to button 1 and a text to go to store. The second should have the ID set to button 2 and the text to go to cave. The third should have the ID set to button 3 and the text fight dragon. Okay. Button. I button ID equals button 1. Go to store. There we go. Go to cave, fight dragon. Okay. Now we're going to go back to our JS file and create a let h1. So we're going to create a button1 variable. So let button1 equal document dot query selector and assign it the value assign it to your element with the ID of button1. That CSS ID selectors are prefixed with hashtag. So hashtag button1. There we go. So that's going to be a way for us to create a variable in our JavaScript code that links to our button, one of our buttons, via the ID of the button in our HTML. So we can have things happen when you click the button, basically. We run into that problem. You're trying to query your page for a button element, but your script tag is in the head of your HTML. This means the code runs before the browser has finished reading the HTML, and your document query selector does not see the button because the browser hasn't processed it. To fix this, move your script element out of the head and place it in the body just before the closing tag. This is the most common way to use a script tag, is to put it right here at the end of your body. Next, button1 is a variable that is not going to be reassigned. If you're not going to assign a new value to a variable, it is best practice to use the const keyword to declare it instead of the let. This will tell JavaScript to throw an error if you accidentally reassign it. Change your button1 variable to be declared const. Use query select to get the other 2 buttons. So we're going to do the exact same thing, but for button 2 and 3. Okay, similar to your stats element, your monster stats element needs 2 span elements. Give them the class stat and give them the first element the text monster name. Okay, similar to your stats element, your monster stats element needs 2 span elements. So we're gonna give it a span class stat. monster name. And then in the second text, health. After the text needs, add a strong element with an ID nested span element. Give the first text ID monster. Okay. So we're going to do a strong. We're doing the same thing we did on the XP health and gold. This is for monster name and health. Health, monster name, strong, span, class, or ID of monster name. And span, strong. Okay, let's copy that whole thing. All right, space this out. That whole thing. Everything in between the strong elements. And put it right here, but change this to monster health. There we go. Okay, with that we will take a break and we will continue this series in the next video. So thank you.